So hi friends, we are running out the door. We're going to go to a local antique mall, and Pepper's not happy that we're leaving, and the family's out waiting for me in the car. So I'll try to film in the mall if I can, and if I buy anything I'll show you what I picked up when we get back. Well, that antique mall was huge and kind of overwhelming. It was overwhelmed my senses there for a while, and we spent a long time in there. And this is the only thing I ended up purchasing, was a vintage or retro ice bucket. It's in my favorite color, green, and it's a plastic lid and then like a stainless steel insulated thing. And I'm just going to set it on my shelf, and I will actually use it sometime. And I paid $10 for it, which I'm not sure if that's a good price or not, but I really liked it. And Olivia purchased this music box. I'll let you listen to the music just for a few seconds.
And this is what we had for dinner that night. We had a baked potato bar. And this was my plate. I had a sweet potato with taco meat and a side salad. And it was very, very tasty.
Good morning, friends. It is Tuesday, July 4th. Happy birthday, America. Today we are just going to be doing a lot of work around the house. We went out to that Antique Mall yesterday and had a fun day, and so today we are going to be doing kind of some catch-up work around the house. Scott's outside right now burning a big brush pile, and he got done mowing the lawn. We don't go anywhere on the 4th of July typically. We don't do the fireworks for two reasons. First of all, a lot of the time the 4th of July falls on a weekday, and tomorrow morning Scott has to get up at 4:30 in the morning to go to work. So he doesn't want to stay up till 11:30 tonight or later to watch the fireworks. And the second reason is that I have a problem with crowds. I kind of had a panic attack the last time we went to a fireworks show, and we were blocked in and couldn't get out, and so it was kind of a really not a happy time for me, and so I've kind of not wanted to go to the fireworks ever since then. It's just kind of a mental thing I have. So those are the reasons why we don't go. And plus we stay home and we watch it on the TV, and we get a bird's eye view of what's happening in New York and the big fireworks displays in Washington, D.C. and things like that. Also, our neighbor across the field shoots off fireworks, so we can go out to the end of the driveway and watch his fireworks for free. So that's why we don't go to the fireworks. But anyway, today I wanted to show you what the big job I have on the agenda to do. I'm out here in my entryway. This is the main room that we come into when we come in from outside, and it's where my pantry is. My pantry, and down here we have it's our laundry chute that goes down to the basement, falls right next to the washing machine. Scott designed that. And then in here is our water heater, and eventually that's going to go downstairs, and then this whole wall right here will be an extended pantry as well. But yesterday when we went to that antique mall, in the same town there was a guy selling a dorm-size refrigerator on Craigslist. So we worked it out where we went to picked up the fridge before we went to the antique store. So here is the fridge. We paid $45 for it, and they're well over $100 brand new. Whoop, sorry Sal. That's Sal. And we cleaned it. All it needed was a really, really good cleaning. So we cleaned it out, and we've had it running since last night. And so today, my plans are, I'm going to take stuff out of my other refrigerator and put it in here, the overflow. Because let me show you what our refrigerator looks like. And yes, the dorm fridge does have racks. They're right here. They needed to be scrubbed really good, and they're just sitting here. I'll put them in when I decide how I want the refrigerator to be set up out there. So here's our refrigerator. It is a full-size fridge, but it is a small one. It's the one that came with the house when we bought it almost 20 years ago. And it works great, but it's small. and with 4 adults living in this house, it gets really crowded with stuff, especially in the summertime when we have a lot of produce. So yesterday morning, Scott he wasn't grumbling, but he just kind of happened to mention that this refrigerator was ridiculous and we couldn't find anything. And that's how we got talking about getting a mini fridge. And he's like, well, where would you put it? And I said, well, out there in the entryway. And so, boom, he found one on Craigslist and we went and got it. So it happened rather quickly. But anyway, I'm going to go through this refrigerator, and it's actually been cleaned out recently, so there shouldn't be anything nasty and disgusting in there. But I'm just going to go through it, organize it, and decide what I'm going to go put out in the mini fridge. I'm not going to video myself doing all of that. I want to kind of keep this week in the life short with just short snippets of my day, but I will come back and show you what it looks like when I have it all finished. Here's the finished product of my refrigerator. On the top shelf I basically have beverages and a few like olives and things stuck clear in the back. And then the second shelf, I keep my homemade bread in here in the summertime because it gets moldy too fast if we leave it out on the counter. And then that's sour cream. That's just, I think, Olivia's bottle of water. There's some leftovers back in there. And then these 2 things of broccoli. I've kept them in here because I'm going to be making a broccoli salad later today. So I just kept those in there. And then on the bottom shelf we've got eggs. Those are boiled eggs. That's dog food. And then in that container there I keep my coffee creamer and my overnight oatmeal and my yogurt. So everything is in one place. I did take a few things out of the door, but that pretty much looks the same. So let me go show you. And then of course down there is vegetables. I've got onions in that tray and then just some vegetables in that tray. So let me go show you the small fridge and what it looks like. Here's the door of the fridge, and of course it's got a spot for eggs, and I probably will end up using that at some point because we always have so many eggs. And then this tiny little shelf here, I just have my ground chia seed. You need to keep this kind of stuff in a refrigerator because it'll go rancid if you leave it out. This is actually a pop can dispenser, and we don't drink pop, but Olivia and I do drink fizzy water that comes in cans, so I'll probably end up putting some in there, like seltzer water, flavored seltzer water. That's what I mean by fizzy water. And then over here I've got lemon juice and Worcestershire sauce, just because I don't use those very often and they were taking up a lot of space in the door of my refrigerator. Then inside the fridge is this tiny little compartment for a freezer. So in there I just have some leftover, or not leftover, some extra Joseph's pita breads that I want to keep frozen. This is yogurt starter. Yes, I am still attempting to make dairy-free yogurt. I don't know if I'll ever get that right. It's been a challenge. And then these are just some veggie burgers that were left over from the kids' graduation party. I don't particularly care for veggie burgers, but Olivia will eat them occasionally, so I stuck them in here. And then on the top shelf of the refrigerator, I've got my Joseph's pita bread, some peanut butter, defatted peanut butter spread that I made. I'll tell you more about that on a later date. And this is some other snack for me. I am doing an eating plan called Trim Healthy Mama, and I'm going to go do an entire video on that at a different time, but all of these items are part of Trim Healthy Mama, and this refrigerator is basically my Trim Healthy Mama stuff. Down here I've got my almond flour because, again, you need to keep things like this in the refrigerator or the freezer or they'll get rancid. And back there I've got cornmeal. We keep our maple syrup in the refrigerator. This is pure maple syrup that we got from Costco. And then I put my sunflower seeds in here. These are just the bulk, because I bought them in bulk. And you need to keep those types of things cold. And then on the very bottom shelf I have my lettuce and some zucchini. And there's some more vegetables here. But Scott told me if I don't want my lettuce to freeze, I need to put it as far away from the cooling element, which is up here, as I can. So all my lettuce is going to always be on this bottom shelf. I've had a lot of trouble with my lettuces freezing in my refrigerators. So well, hopefully this will work. So this is how I've got it set up. And I think it's going to work out really, really good for us.
So here was our dinner for the 4th of July. We had turkey brats on the grill, sauteed zucchini and onion, and homemade broccoli salad. And I did not eat my brat on a bun. It's just on a bed of fried or sauteed green pepper and onion.
Good morning, friends. It's Wednesday, July 5th, and I just got out of the shower, so you get the wet-headed me today. It's been a very busy morning. It's already noon. I went out and did my chores and cleaned out the pools for the ducks, and I got done exercising, and then I took a shower. And as soon as I get done eating some lunch, we're going to go over and clean my dad's house. We normally do that on Mondays, but because of the holiday, we're doing it today on Wednesday. And then when I get done cleaning his house, I will show you some video footage of, or I will tape, how my garden is doing. It's really doing really good. I'm very pleased. So we'll see you in a bit when we get over there. So here are my green pepper plants, and this one has a huge pepper on it, but my dad told me that this variety, they're called California Wonder, get really big. So that's actually, he said, not really ready to pick yet. But if I ever need a green pepper, I know where to come get one. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 green pepper plants, and they're all doing really well. This one has babies on it. And then I've got 4 jalapeno peppers, and they've got lots of peppers on them. And this is my sweet banana pepper plant, and it's got nice big peppers on it, which aren't ready yet. And then here's my red chili pepper plant, and it is just loaded with great big peppers. And these are hot, and they won't be ready to pick until they turn red. And then here is our summer squash plant. It's really big, and it's got some squash coming on and some pretty blossoms. And it's really big. And then over here we've got the zucchini, and it's not doing as well because the first time my dad planted, the seeds didn't come up, so he had to replant the zucchini. So it got a later start than the yellow squash. And then this is, I think it's a cantaloupe, or a muskmelon, however you want to say it. And then over there we've got a watermelon, and watermelon there, and there. And that plant there is a butternut squash. And then we've got cucumber here. And then my dad just took some of the, like 3 or 4 plants from the one hill came up, and so he took them and just kind of transplanted a couple of the plants, and they're not doing as well, but they survived, so hopefully we'll get some cucumbers off of them. And then we've got about 3 rows of black-eyed peas. That's what this is. And we've got green beans there, about a half a row. And then we've got all that corn. If the corn produces well, we'll have enough to put at least some in the freezer. And there's a rooster over there. Now let me show you my tomatoes. Here are my tomato beds. They are just going crazy. Look at all of those tomatoes. These are Romas. All I've got in this bed are Roma tomatoes, and there are just tons of them. I'm going to be making canning lots of sauce. And then over in this bed, we've got these huge. They've totally outgrown the tomato cages. Better Boy and Best Boy are the variety. And then this on this side, these are, let me look, celebrities. These three, well, actually four. These four plants are celebrities. And then over here, I've got some collards. I just planted them because we needed to take up space or finish, filling in this bed, and my chickens love to eat it. And the bugs are getting to it, even though I've been spraying it with that soap mixture. So I don't know, maybe it's not working, or we've had a lot of rain. I probably just haven't been diligent enough in keeping it sprayed. But I think I'm going to harvest some of this today to feed to my chickens. So then this is that big raised bed that we put lettuce in. And this is the second cutting off of the leaf lettuce. And my dad was right, it did turn kind of tough and bitter. So I'm just going to be feeding this to my chickens. And then the Roma, we pulled most of it, but it bolted. So that's going to be chicken food. And then we've got onions that are growing, and I could probably harvest a few of those if I needed to. And then the greens down on this side are Swiss chard, and it's delicious. My dad likes to eat it cooked, but I like it raw in salads. And this is something we can pick every, all summer long. You can pick on it, and it won't get bitter. It shouldn't anyway. And we've got tons of kittens. Kitty, kitty, kitties. Everywhere, kitties. Here's another one. Oh, they're scared. Running. Hi, kitty, kitty, kitty. We do not have a shortage of cats around here. There's another one.
And this is what we had for dinner that night. We had BLTs with chips and salsa and raw broccoli. And I had my BLT in a Joseph's low-carb pita.
It's Thursday morning, and it's time to do the chores. I let Allie out a little bit ago. And I got to take Virginia and put her in her daytime cage. And I gotta go let the ducks out. So let's go let the ducks out. Today I have to go to the feed store and get some more feed, obviously, at the feed store, and pay bills. I don't have a whole lot I have to do on today on Thursday, so thought you'd want to see my ducks at least once in this video. And chickies. You guys are loud. You ready to go out? That's the girls. I'm coming. I'm coming. My other chickies are wanting their scratch. They love their scratch. And these branches in here, as you can see, those are from my husband. He threw some mulberry branches in here, and they ate all the leaves off of them. They have a pretty small yard right now, but we are planning to enlarge their yard by a lot. I don't know if it'll happen this year. I hope it does, but that is one of the plans. Sally, what are you doing? Are you digging holes? Sal? Are you digging holes? What are you? Look at that. What are you doing? You naughty girl. You naughty girl. There's Ollie's scratch. You're a pretty boy. You're a pretty boy. Now to get Virginia out of her pen and into her morning pen. That's my girl. That's my girl eating her scratch. And I picked some hen pepper and some clove and threw in there too, and she'll eat that as well. Say hello to your friends. Hello. Say hello. Oh, she's a little leery of the camera. Come here. Hi, girl. Yes, you're a sweet girl. And the last thing I need to do this morning is take care of these rabbits. There's CS in that pen, and we call her Dutchie. She's very shy. She saw me come in and ran into her box there. And a few weeks ago, oh, there she is. I think it's a she. We don't know. It's hard to tell. A few weeks ago, we discovered that this rabbit had chewed a hole in her box. So Scott just put some wire over the front of it. It's kind of a temporary fix. And we're going to have to figure out something different for this. I wouldn't mind if we had just a wire door on the front of the hole on both sides. That way you can see the rabbits. But the idea of this wooden door is to keep them more protected in the winter. So I don't know. But it looks like they've got food, but they both need some water. So I keep this watering can out here with water in it. There you go. There you go, bunny, my bunny. There you go, bunny, bunny. You're a nice bunny, bunny. You're a nice bunny, bunny. I think he's coming back. Here he comes. Here he comes. I'm not sure if I'm getting him or not. He's so dang fast. Hope I'm not getting poisoned to death out here. They're so stinking fun to watch. I wish they weren't spraying crap. Here it comes. Try to get him. There he is. Right over my house. And around. The backyard. Going down just above the tree line. Look at that. That's nuts. Same spot or not. Oh, he's over here now. I think he might be going back to... Yeah, he's going back to refuel or whatever.
this is what we had for dinner on Thursday night. We had Chinese buffet. We had mandarin orange chicken over brown rice and oriental stir-fry vegetables. Scott and Olivia also had egg rolls. And full disclosure, I did not make the mandarin orange chicken from scratch. I got it out of the freezer section at Aldi's. It was kind of a cheat meal, but we all really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's Friday morning. This is what it's been doing all morning. I had about a 10-minute window where I went out and took care of my animals. And it's been raining ever since. And I think it's supposed to be a pretty rainy day, so there's not going to be much going on outside today. Pretty good mud puddles. It is now 1:30 in the afternoon, and it's been doing this all day. And to top it all off, our power went out and has been out for about 2 hours now. We're planning to go to Costco tonight, and I can't even get ready to go. And I'm sick of rain, and I'm feeling like I'm complaining a lot, but I'm irritated. Well, there's our Friday afternoon update. Still raining. Hi friends, it is very late Friday night. This has been a very good experience doing this weekly vlog. It was kind of fun, just taking snippets of my day and putting it all into one video. And I don't know how long this is all going to be when it's said and done, but hopefully it's not too horribly long. But I just thought I would try this because sometimes I feel like I don't have very interesting things to talk about for an entire day. So I thought if I took little bits and pieces of my week, it would be more entertaining. And I know some parts of my week have been really entertaining, and so I hope you enjoyed seeing the crop duster and those types of things. A little bit of bad news that happened the end of this week. While I was over at the barn yesterday, late afternoon, I had shoes on, and there was a piece of wood with a big old rusty nail kind of hidden in the longer grass, and I didn't know it was there. And I stepped on it, and it went right through my shoe and punctured my foot. So it doesn't really look so bad in that picture, but it really hurts. So anyway, I soaked my foot in Epsom salts and put triple antibiotic on it and some essential oils on it, and hopefully I won't need to get a tetanus shot. It's been a while since I've had one. And then you saw the footage of all that rain that we had. We had torrential downpours for hours today. I went out about 8 o'clock to do my chores, and I let Oliver out of the shed, and I put Virginia in her outside pen, took care of my ducks and chickens, and I could hear rumbling of thunder in the background. But it didn't really look all that threatening or anything. So I didn't think anything of it. Came back in the house, and about an hour later, it just started torrential downpours, just pouring down rain, and Virginia wasn't getting out of the rain. She was like in the rain, so I put on a raincoat, went out and got her, and put her back inside the shed. And Oliver was in the shed, and for whatever reason, during a lighter part of the rain, he came out of the shed and went underneath a metal work table that my husband has sitting outside. And so I saw him there about 11 or so. He was still under there, and I was trying to get him to go back in the shed because I was just going to close them up in there for until all this rain stopped. I didn't realize it was going to be an all-day ordeal, but I couldn't get him to go back in, so I thought, well, I'll just leave him. He seems happy under there. He's not getting wet. Well, then about 11:30, our power went out, and we thought, well, typically when the power goes out, it's usually out for about 2 hours. So we just kind of, well, what was the horrible thing was that I was in the shower when the power went out, and we live out in the country, and when the power goes out, your water goes out. And so I was right in the middle of rinsing the cream rinse out of my hair, and I had to hurry up and get it out before my water ran out. And so anyway, this is what your hair looks like when you can't blow dry it. So I just kind of threw it up in a half ponytail, and so anyway, that was about 11:30, and so we were just kind of sitting around. I was doing some crocheting. The kids were going stir crazy because they couldn't get on their electronics, and the rain started to letting up, and so about noon we decided to go out driving because they have their learner's permit, and they're learning how to. They have to go so many hours before they can get their driver's license. So I said, well, let's go out, and maybe by the time we get back, the power will be back on. So we got down to the end of our driveway, and we noticed that my dad's dog, Bo, was sitting down there, and there was a dead chicken laying on the side of the driveway. And I just thought it was one of the barn chickens, some of the older hens. They've been dying because they're pretty old. And Bo, when he finds a dead animal, he'll drag it out and, eat it, which is disgusting. But anyway, that's what dogs do. So I didn't think anything of it. Went driving. While we were out driving, another round of storms came in, and it just was pouring down rain again. So we came back home, and the chicken was still there. And I didn't think anything of it, and I thought, I'm not coming out here in the torrential rain to do anything about this dead chicken. So the power was still out, and I was starting to really get aggravated, and because I knew we were going to go to Costco tonight, and I wanted to get ready. And I wasn't able to do anything with my hair. Anyway, it was just, I was starting to get really irritated. And then about 3:15, the power finally came back on. And about 5 minutes later, Scott got home, and he pulls in the driveway, and I'm standing there waiting for him because I was going to tell him that the power had just come back on. And he had this really weird look on his face, and I'm like, what's the matter? And he was kind of looking around, and he's like, I'm looking for Ollie. And I'm like, he's fine, he's in the shed. And he's like, he looked around, and he's like, no, he's not in the shed. He says, what's that dead chicken down at the end of the road? And I'm like, well, I think it's just a barn chicken. I don't, it can't be Ollie. And I'm going to cry. And it was Ollie. Sometime it had to have been between 11 and 12. Something killed him. And it wasn't the dog, because he has never, ever even chased a chicken or looked at a chicken funny. He's protective of the barn chickens. So we know Bo didn't kill him, but something did. And I was just convinced it couldn't have been him. And I went out and was calling him, and he didn't come. So I went down to take a closer look at the corpse, and the head was missing, and the chest was all ripped up, and so it was really hard to recognize, but it was him. But I kept hoping against hope. While we were in town, Travis stayed home, and I said, if Oliver comes home, you make sure and lock him up in the shed. And so when we got home from town, I looked, and he wasn't in the shed. I'm sorry I'm getting so upset, but I love that stupid rooster. It's like we have so many free-range chickens around here that are just wild, that I don't care anything about. I mean, we take care of them, but I'm not attached to them. And the one rooster that I loved, some stupid animal killed him. And I never thought that he would be in any danger in the middle of the day. We didn't find any evidence of him being attacked. And I know he didn't get hit on the road because he never goes down by the road. Never. He always stays up by the house. And especially when the it was terrible. I mean, it rained and rained. I don't even know how many inches of rain we got, but it just rained and rained. And he stayed by the house all the time during the day. So I don't know what happened, but I told my husband I don't ever want to have any more outside animals because I get too attached and then I get too upset when something happens. You know, I tried my hardest to make sure he stayed safe, and no matter what I did, because, you know, some people try to make me feel guilty because my chickens aren't free range. I don't let them just run. But, well, look what happens. My one and only chicken, it was a free range. Something got him in the middle of the day. So I will never have another free range chicken. I won't. There's just too many things that happen. It's one thing, I've lost chickens because they've gotten sick or they were just old and they died. That's different, you know. For a predator to get him, it's heart-wrenching, and I can't take it. I can't do it anymore. And I'm just about ready to just say no more outside animals because I can't keep them safe. So anyway, I'm sorry to end this vlog on a sad note, and I will get over it. It's just very fresh, and I wanted to share what happened while it was fresh. I didn't want to wait a day or two until I was over it to share what happened. So you're my friends, and I wanted you to know I had a really, really crappy day. Anyway, try to pull myself together. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and like I said, I hope it doesn't turn out to be too horribly long. And if you waited till the end and watched the whole thing, then you're my true subscribers. So I'll talk to y'all later, and I will probably try to do these weekly vlogs more often because, like I said, they're pretty fun to do, and hopefully not everyone will end in some sort of tragedy. Talk to you later, friends. Bye.